Hello. This video is going to walk through a worksheet slash handout, some writing conventions you should know, and this is going to focus on the MLA stuff. MLA is the Modern Languages Association, and they are the guiding body for most English philosophy, literature, that kind of stuff. Some of the things that I see in student papers, and not just for our class, but for all the other stuff I've gone through, most students think, that they've internalized these rules fairly well, or they don't care at all about internalizing the rules, and they're surprised when they get points knocked off in their science class or their history class or whatever, because they've made some error for these rules. And so came up with this handout to help students figure out the things that are most likely to be marked wrong in their other classes. It's also something that I would love for you to have like in the front of whatever notebook you're using, so you can just look at it and go, oh yeah, I have to do it this way. So I'm just going to go down the list here and walk through. It's interesting, but only to an English geek like me. So whatever you've been told as far as numbers, write out all numbers under 100. So 77 gets written out, SEVENTY dash SEVEN. Okay. 3, 12, they all get written out. The only exclusion to that is decimal points. So, 2.3 needs to be 2.3 kind of thing. Indent your paragraphs 1 tab. Don't use extra spaces between your paragraphs. Don't use blocked paragraphs. Now, on the NROC stuff, you don't have that option, but for regular papers, yes, this is how you do it. And you're going to have to change on Word. They automatically put things in a weird spacing situation, so you'll have to go in and look and make sure that your space before and after paragraphs is 0, and then that you're double spaced. Only use you or your or yourselves or whatever when you're speaking to your reader. A lot of times we mean I need to do something, but we're distancing ourselves, and so we say you. Yeah, be careful. If you're not saying it to your reader, then get rid of the you. Use a real noun. Use I. I know that's shocking and all of that, but yes, you can use I in a paper. Write out abbreviations and then put the acronym in parentheses the first time you use it. Even easy things like FBI, CIA. Well, in case in point, CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, right? Unless you're in culinary, and then it's the Culinary Institute of America. So make sure you tell us which CIA you're looking at first. Then after that, if you're using it the same way, you can just use it. You don't have to write it out each time. Titles of whole works like books, CDs, DVDs, movies get underlined. We tend to want to italicize things. Italics don't always come across from format to format, but underlines do. Titles of songs, articles, chapters, parts of work are set off with quotation marks. And use title capitalization for all titles, even your own. Everything except preposition, articles, and conjunctions get capitalized. And if you're not quite sure what those things are, any content word, okay? If it's telling you what it's doing, or if it's telling you what's doing it, those are the words that need to be capitalized. And I will mark things. I might not take off of them, but I'll mark them. Commas and periods go inside quotation marks. Semicolons go outside of quotation marks. Question marks and exclamation points can go inside or outside, depending upon their usage. If you're quoting a question, then the question mark goes on the inside. If you're quoting, but you're asking a question, it goes on the outside. And we'll play with that some too. Make sure that your margins are 1 inch all the way around. This is up on the home page, the home tab, and then paragraph. There's a little down arrow over there. Click on that and it'll give you this whole page of things you can do. Make sure paragraph spacing is 0 before and after. Make the line spacing double. Other things for this, put your name and the page number in a header. Your family name, your last name goes in the header on the right-hand side, and then space, and then insert the page number. Don't just write a 1 up there, because then you'll have a 1 on every page. Okay, so you have to actually look at the little thing and say page number, insert page number, and tell it what kind you want. You always want the plain version, at least for school papers. For MLA, you don't have a title page. You have a name block at the top of the page. Upper left corner on the first page only, single space, your name, the class, the instructor's name, the assignment, and the due date, DUE date. Not the date you do it on, but the date it was due, even if it's late. Okay. I've already talked about citations in one of these videos, but remember that MLA format, in-text citations get a parentheses, the author's last name and page number, or NP for no page. The works cited page, we haven't really done anything with that, and the NROC stuff doesn't really let you do much with that. I'm interested to see how it's going to do the last two papers, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But make sure you cite everything that you're using that isn't your original idea. If you found it somewhere else, if somebody else talked about it in their paper or whatever, then you need to give them credit. And that's really what a citation is. It's giving credit where credit is due. And we all need to make sure that we're doing that more often. And if you have trouble with that, or you have questions about that, we do have a quoting and paraphrasing video and handout for that. Click over on the left-hand side in your Blackboard's page and go down to the videos, and there's a place there for that. Yeah, so that'll work. Anything else that you get dinged for, most of the time it's going to be simple things like every sentence starts with a capital letter. And I know you know that, but part of being able to edit your own work is to go back through and look at things piece by piece and making sure they're all there. The word I always, always, always needs to be capitalized. Okay, you're not texting your teacher, you're not texting this paper in, and it drives me crazy when people text lowercase i's anyway. But make sure that you go back through and check. Give yourself time to recheck things. Make sure that you're not, and I know this is make sure that you're not pushing things at the last minute. We tend to make more mistakes that way, as you know, but we also tend to not have time to make it our best work. And that's what you want to get graded on, right? Is your best. So give yourself time. If you are running short on time and you need an extension, you have to email me ahead of time and say, hey, this isn't going to happen. And I'd be more than happy to help you out. So again, these are things that your instructors believe you already know. So don't be surprised when you get dinged if you don't pay attention to these things. So there's a handout at the bottom of Unit 3, and you can get those there. So let me know if you have questions. Have a good day.